This is Salamancer. You are watching SalTV, and this soldier is the angriest man I've ever seen. I think the entire blue team owes him like 50 bucks. So that is, of course, Renegade. Looks like he may have had some serious gambling winnings. Taking the equalizer rollout here on CP Warmfront. The two teams are grown-ass men in the red versus equals in the blue. These guys are towards the top of open, and at the time this game was played, grown-ass men's record was 6-1 in open, equals 5-1. So, like I said, top of open. We get to see what happens here at the mid-fight. As so far, it sounds like Wireless Fox is down. He is the medic for equals, and that does mean I think the grown-ass men are looking pretty good here. Or is it grown-ass men? You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. Especially if you've seen XKCD, you know exactly what I mean by that question. But we do have, actually, the grown-ass men now having to leave. They kept their medic alive, so he did stay away from that fighting for the most part. Maybe take a little bit of damage, but he's still okay. They're going to actually try to go back in and stop this capture, which they could do if they're quick. He's got a pogo jump like right in there, though, to stop this, just barely managing to do it. And did he actually? I think he might have gotten an air shot there by Timeless. Not that it mattered, because Timeless is dead, so there's going to be a little bit of pressure coming in, but now the men are going to revert the capture here. And they should be able to do just that, especially because they've got the Uber. Their opponents could and probably will bomb in to try and stop this Uber from pushing too far forward. So I guess we need to be watching, see if we can't find a roaming soldier here, which is probably this guy, although he doesn't seem to have the gunboats on, so I don't know. Maybe it'll be somebody else. Somebody's got to jump in here and stop this medic, though, because if they don't force the medic from the men, they're just going to walk right in here and walk all over the blue team. Oh, maybe not, though. Wireless Fox has had enough time here. He's at 85% right now, so I do think we will see a push coming in shortly. But the Uber not in yet means that Fox is actually going to get that Uber up in time. They will be safe. And oh, a nice sticky trap. We didn't get to see it, but we heard it. Took down Yan Can Cook, which means that, of course, now this Uber is going to be totally uncontested by equals. They are looking pretty solid right now. So a nice play there. The sticky trap, I mean, they should have seen that, but it might have been pretty well hidden. And that, of course, is a mistake that will cost the grown-ass men the middle point. And also an Uber advantage, actually, that Wireless Fox still maintaining his advantage for a little while. As long as the men don't get in there and bomb in on top of him, destroy him entirely, he will be okay. He's got about a 50-40% advantage, maybe. Not a bad little situation to be in. And if you look at these teams, at least a couple of the players should be somewhat familiar if you've been following a lot of the TF2 scene. Sounds like a lot of people dying there on the men, so I do think this round is going to start looking pretty good for equals. After having just barely lost that mid-fight, now pushing into the second. But yes, these players will look a little bit familiar. Lanzer on the demo has played in intermediate before. I don't think he's played in invite, but I've seen him in intermediate. And, of course, we've seen a couple games of him, and he has been getting into the 6v6 scene as we speak. I mean, I casted like one of his first games, I want to say. So there you go, equals gets in and captures the point. Looking pretty solid this first round, I gotta say, but they're going to have to keep it up. But yeah, if you guys are looking at getting into 6v6, I highly recommend it. You are not going to start off being as good as like YZ50 or somebody, unless you're just a beast, I guess. But, you know, if you start out and you are at least at the level of what, do it. Just get in there, play some pugs, get your name thrown around, and start getting on teams. And I promise you, you will have a lot of fun, because I know that guy is. Anyway, sorry about that. We should go back onto Lambert, which, isn't that a... Oh, no, I'm thinking Lambuel. Never mind. I thought that was hilarious, but if you don't know what it is, don't worry about it. It's Wireless Fox immediately taken down again, so it looks like the strategy of knocking out the medic first and focusing that demo really hard is working decently well here on these mid-fights for the grown-ass men. They did lose their medic, but not before just completely destroying their opponents on their health advantage and on their coordination advantage. So when they called out to kill that demo man up there on the ridge, they had two players at least on them, a scout and a soldier. Scout coming up behind, and the soldier came in to deal a lot of damage as well. And if you can focus down enemy players like that, more likely than not, you are probably going to win those mid-fights. With, once again, equals back onto their second point. They're going to have to try and stop this. They don't want to be sitting on their last point, because on Warmfront it is so hard to push out. Actually, I take that back. Sometimes it can actually be easier to push out than some of those other maps. But there you go. They are going to have to maybe sit back for a little while here. Doing some good damage to their opponents, though. It's just that they just lost ZZA, who I swear I've seen that name before, but I don't remember if he's been named anything else. And you know who we haven't talked about yet, and who I'm hesitant to talk about, because his name is wacky, but AE. Didn't they make a movie about that? Titan AE. I think there might have only been one of each letter, though. This guy, the only other information I could find on him on the ESEA site is that he at one point went by the name Maido or Maido, M-E-I-D-O. And he put down his real-life name as Princess Sakura, so that's all we got, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to watch him. Looks like he's playing Roaming Soldier for a little while here. 4 equals, I think. Don't really see if he's using those gunboats, though. Might just be using the shotgun, which I think a lot of players do seem to favor on this map. It gives you a lot of extra damage. And I mean, there is a lot to be said for being mobile, though. Especially if you can jump in and dive bomb your enemy medic. The thing is, it's so easy to see because there aren't really any like major corners that if you try to jump up in the air, you're gonna get spotted pretty soon. And here goes Lambert for a nice flank. And he, wow, manages taking the demo. Really amazing dodging here. Those other scouts cannot hit him either, so Lambert is just going crazy right now. I am surprised at the fact that he still had 106 health after that exchange, but he's just like, yeah, whatever, it's cool. Get in here, help capture the point, maybe grab a health kit if I need it, which so far I don't think he does. Completely destroy that demo man. There's probably going to be a pause here in just a second because it looks like Samson Simpson did get timed out. Lambert immediately on the demo man again. Nothing he can do about that, trying to stop the point, but it will not happen. And the grown-ass men there win that round pretty decisively, taking advantage of their opponents. Not just losing the player, but losing a lot of health there. Looks like they are getting their player back in the game now, and it was a nice long pause that they took to get Samson. And in fact, I think they've lost a second player here, so not sure what is happening right now with Eagles' team. They're probably not very happy about it, and my HUD is not very happy about it. It seems that we are not going to get to see the points for a little while. By the way, I do use HUD reload scheme. I have it bound with key, so I'm doing my very best to try and reload it. There we go, it is finally reloaded, but there's the reload scheme thing actually doesn't work for that. Like when we lose that part of the HUD, the point captures, it just doesn't work at all. Anyway, losing 2 players there means Equals made the wise choice. They didn't even contest middle, because if you try to go into a 4v6 situation where you just don't have any positioning advantage at all, you are completely toast. And completely toast actually sounds like a really awesome Wonder Bread product, so I totally hope to see that come out pretty soon. Completely Toast, sponsored by Salamancer. Anyway, the point is, of course, that EQ Equals took a big defensive position on the second point, and it looks like it's paying a little bit for them. They took down Heap-Hop. Heap-Hop. Yeah, but they did take down 1 scout and are doing some good damage. They've got an Uber here as well. They're popping in, but the problem is, where is the medic right now? If they don't find him, oh, they didn't find him. There you go. Pop in the Uber out of Yan Cancun. But I don't know if Equals actually has anything smart to say now, as the scout was asking, because it looks as if they are backing away into their last point. Yan Cancun taking a little bit of damage here, actually, and 1 more well-placed rocket could have killed him. Good dodging, though, and that means that Equals going to have to back away. Bwatt is under some pressure. Pretty decent scout. I have played some games with this guy too over on Pug NA, so I gotta say that when the going gets tough, the tough get killing. And no, I'm not talking about the ESEA League admin killing. I'm talking about destroying your opponents. So we'll see whether Equals can actually hang out back here. Looks like AAEE Mado guy, whatever his name is playing the sniper, counter-sniping actually against Heap-Hop, who will not be able to take down the medic unless Wireless Fox decides to like walk out from behind his point. But problem is, there goes that sniper, and it looks as if we do have another pause. Whoa, okay, sorry. So there was just a little bit of a delay there. I gotta go, Avengers is starting, oh no. So apparently somebody did schedule to watch the Avengers, which by the way, if you haven't seen it yet, I do recommend it. I actually might not have seen it entirely legally, which is a mistake on my part, because normally I do watch all of my movies in theaters, but this one, that didn't happen. And I regret it, actually. I do regret it, because the theater experience would have been much better. Gotta say. Oh well. Oh, nice! We've got a skating scout. Nice! This doesn't normally happen after rounds end, but apparently it did for Heap-Hop, so we're going to watch him skate all the way out to the mid. Oh, there we go. He fixed it by double jumping. Darn it. Well, anyway, it looks as if our teams are getting out to the midpoint once again, with the grown-ass men taking the right-hand side with their medics. They're going to keep him... Oh, I thought they were going to keep him protected behind the point. Turns out, Blatt ran in and completely destroyed him, so that was a nice little focus. Good attempted an air shot there by Renegade. Didn't manage to finish him off, but looks like the scout came in to get the kill, I think, and Renegade's still alive at this mid. Ends up taking out Za, getting finished off, and Equals has their demo man here, but oh, demo versus scout, that is not a fun battle for the demo. It is entirely possible for the demo to win it, but not easy. The scout has so much area that he can use. The closer and closer he gets to that demo man, the more panicky the demo man will get. Started to, lay lay stickies beneath his own feet just to try and do some damage to that scout who's pressuring in. But of course, good scout players will know that. They'll just start trying to make that demo man panic a little bit, and then they can even back off and just be like, oh, you're going to lay a sticky there? That's okay. Whatever. I'll just keep shooting you and backing away while you hurt yourself. So, yeah, demo man DM, a very, very fine line, especially if the scout is like already past your sticky bombs and getting on top of you like that. Not an easy situation to be in. Point is, scout kills demo man, rook takes pawn, bishop takes rook, and now we are starting to get into a checkmate situation here as the grown-ass men look like they want to push in. They don't have an Uber yet. Wireless Fox actually does, but they are dealing some damage through that narrow choke point. They're not all that narrow, but through the choke point in the garage. And some good spam coming in. They do now have an Uber, which it looks as if the blue team wants to try and pop that just a little bit early, which they do. So I'm kind of surprised here that they let that happen. Yan Cook was kind of waiting around the corner, and he just let this soldier jump right in on top of him. He's going to have to run away from that. And now he's in an unenviable position here because could have been pressured from behind. His scout actually managed to play a bit of a screening role, keeping that medic safe because like his entire team was closer to the midpoint than he was. He was actually trying to get protection from that soldier. And of course, the problem is the entire Equals team was chasing them down. Now Yan is probably running all the way back to last at this point. Timeless goes for the air shot, can't quite hit it. That's all right though, as Equals are now going to capture the middle point. And Yan is taking some hits here. Za chasing after him. Oh no, he does get taken down though by the demo man here. Yes, we know it's in a soup can. Thank you, demo man. Wow, Nick's Knight actually did a really good kill there on Lambert. I swear that is like a kid's cartoon, Lambert. It's like this little lamb or something. I'm not just making this up, am I? Somebody please validate me. Validate my existence and my stupid talking. I don't know. We are going to watch the Lancer cam for a little bit, though, as he is bottom fragging. Although, no, he totally is, because I think Nick's Knight and Samson have both actually left the game. So, Lancer, come on, man, step it up. You and your unusual hat need to do some unusual plays. We will see if that actually happens. Right now, the grown-ass men, though, sitting back on their second point. They don't really want to push out too hard. They are, however, doing a little bit of an interesting hold and keeping themselves outside this doorway, not giving up a lot of ground to their opponents outside. Lambert, though, gets punished for it, standing outside this doorway, and now they have had to give up this ground here. The more ground they give up, the more likely it is their opponents will do something like this, pushing in to the high ground. And they've actually given up the high ground here. They've kept their medic on the ramp, and that is not a good situation to be in. They did force the Uber just a little bit early. Lancer going to take some of that and try and deal some damage to these scouts. He is forcing a multi-Uber. Wow, just barely saved there by his medic, keeping that Uber up. He's got to make sure this scout does not kill him or his medic, though. And there you go, the soldier, I'm sorry, the scout comes in behind to save his bacon. Bacon definitely worth saving. Delicious, delicious bacon. So, yeah, the grown-ass men actually looking pretty good right now. They successfully hold on to that. Should be able to push right back out here with some decent aggression, and it does look like they know when to be aggressive for the most part. So he is now going to... Oh, I like that little sticky trap. That's a fun location. Those rocks there. Sadly, he did have to pop them before they had any effect, and they've lost heat hop again. So both their scouts are down. They will have to kind of turtle up here with each other. They will not have a lot of good flank defense, and every little bit of damage on that flank matters a great deal, as it is going to cause the roaming soldier, possibly even the demo man, to have to back up and get closer and closer to their medic. And of course, when you give your enemies flanking opportunities like that, the more they take advantage of them, the worse you are. However, Samson and Za both down right now. Scout's doing some work there. Lambert, I think, got both those kills. So, good old Lambert. He's going to jump back in, and really, he is just kind of doing some scouting right now. He doesn't really want to get into a fight at the moment, thinking, maybe I can get over there and start some capture time, but if I try that, I am going to get assaulted from the high ground. So, no, he is just watching to see what his opponents are doing. He wants to see if maybe there's going to be a sniper, maybe try to ambush somebody walking out of that doorway. But no, he will back up now, and that is probably the wisest thing to do. Yan Cook is sitting in an interesting position here. Relatively farther forward than you would normally see, and maybe he thinks he's hiding, but you got to remember that heal beam is quite visible. So all his opponents have to do is walk in and notice that there is a little red beam there. Wireless Fox is taken down once again, though. Is that the second time he's been killed by a sticky trap, or was that the other way around last time? I think it's the second time. So these guys need to start worrying about sticky traps. They lose their medic, he drops the Uber. and that will almost certainly mean a big push coming in from the blue team. Lambert taken down, though, by a nice little ambush by Samson. So we'll see whether Samson can get any more damage now. It looks like he is going to die. Pulling out the skill stick there, the equalizer, but it's not going to matter as equals. Oh, man. Actually trying to push back in and stop this, and they did kill the medic, so they might just get this point. There's only one man left alive for the red team right now. Pain Shaka. Shaka? Yes, it is just Pain Shaka. And a scout that's coming in to try and save this point as well. Looks like Lancer and the medic are actually jumping in, but they are too late. And that is going to be 2-2 in the first half. Nice close game here at ESEA Open on CP Warmfront. And I do occasionally have people asking me, like, oh, where do I find all this information for ESEA and for UGC? What are all these different leagues? So if you do want to check that out, you need to go to ESEAleague.net. Anyway, if you just look up ESEA on Google, I am positive it will be the first hit. ESEA is definitely the biggest and most successful 6v6 league in North America, highest competitive league for TF2. And they also have Counter-Strike and other stuff. And look at the focus and aggression on that medic. Equals losing Wireless Fox first every mid-fight. And I gotta tell you, as a medic, it's just a bad feeling. It is a bad feeling. That is where I was going with that. I was not going anywhere else. Get your mind out of the gutter. No, I've played a lot of pugs where sometimes your soldiers just aren't really interested in protecting you all that much, and that's nothing against them because they're really good soldiers, but they're just like, yeah, whatever, medic, maybe he'll be here, maybe he won't. And if you think that way as a pocket soldier, more often than not, your medic will not be there for you because he will be dead after every mid-fight. It's a little depressing sometimes. But it doesn't actually matter, as Equals did win the fight. They do hold mid. It's just their opponents have an Uber now, as Yan Can Cook did stay alive. He's going to try and push his team in through this high ground. Got to be careful, because this high ground is a very risky proposition. Once they know you're up there, once they start spamming that with rockets and pills, there is not a lot of room for movement up there, so you have to commit pretty soon. And it looks like that's what they do. They commit, they come in, pop in the Uber, as AAEE jumps in and forces it out of Yan. So now Wireless Fox going to have 100%, but will they be able to keep enough of their players alive to push forward with it? No, they won't. They've lost both their soldiers, and that means they lose a lot of aggressive mobility, because those soldiers will not be able to jump forward quickly, deal a lot of damage, and still be able to tank enough to survive. Plus, losing your soldiers means you are going to have a trouble with these scouts. Lambert jumping in, and he seems to be just a dodging beast. Demo Man having some trouble trying to keep his medic alive, although he was not getting focused down, so Wireless Fox actually still at 100 health. 150, sorry. And Za, oh, this is a nice little teamwork play here from one scout jumping in. This was Za plus his roaming soldier, I think that's Samson. They both jumped in after the medic trying to get the kill on Yan. They did not get it. Wireless Fox and now popped the Uber, and they are moving forward. They've got a couple of kills here, but you saw the aggression. It was like this, the flank just opened up for Equals, and now with Za helping cap this point. Here comes the Uber, though. So it is not over yet. This is a long, protracted series of battles between these two teams. And Samson gets taken down. Sounds like the medics are getting some hits on him. And yeah, there goes Yan. So Yan not in a great position right now. Neither is his Demo Man. They are both dead. The grown-ass men, however, having lost their Demo and Medic, they are still doing some good damage. Soldier DM on the point. Pain Shaka down to 2 health after dropping off there. The medic, Wireless Fox, actually could have just walked out and needled him to death, but he would have had to deal with a sniper. And if there is anything I hate dealing with on Warmfront, it is a sniper. It's just awful. Because look at this. Look what he's going to do. He's back on his own side of the middle point, and he's looking all the way across the map at the enemy's, almost the enemy's second point. Like, this is ridiculous. And oh, he missed! Okay, come on. You got to hit this shot. I think they may have actually noticed. They may have heard it or something, because now they are not peeking their heads out there anymore. Now, the only thing is, if they don't peek their heads out there, they are going to give a lot of ground to their opponents. They're going to let their opponents walk right up to the doorway there. The only thing they might be able to do is set up a sticky trap. They got to be careful their opponents don't see them doing it, because if they do, it's just completely worthless. Where is Nick's Knight? Okay, Nick's, where's your trap? Where's your trap, buddy? He's got one stick there, actually a bunch of them right here, so they are visible. That trap is really just there to box out his opponents and say, okay, well, if you're going to walk that way, you are going to have to pop your Uber. And so they will. What? Alright, Lancer. I'm as confused as you are, man. Sounds like they do have a Uber charge ready to go, though. And I don't think the sniper got any kills, unless maybe Za here dying was to the sniper, but I don't think he was. Now Lands are jumping in, and it looks like his team did force Uber out of blue a little bit early. Equals gonna take some damage before they pop the Uber. And right as soon as the Uber is over, he's already dead. Renegade taking a bit of hits here, and oh, they've lost their demo. Did get the kill on the scout, and now with Heat Pop getting a nice kill on Nyx, and Lambert in on the medic. This is going to be a crappy situation for Equals. They did just lose their med after all that chaos, so it was not a bad Uber out of Equals. They were forced just a little bit early, but they made it work for them. They got a lot of kills. They just could not quite take down Yan until just now, as Za jumped in, using the fact that Samson was distracting that entire combo there. But, well, yeah, that's a tough one to analyze. That was just a weird series of plays. And Samson getting ambushed, pulling out the equalizer. Did he actually get a hit off there? I think he might have, as Pain Shaka trying to run away. Does get a health kit, so he'll be okay for now. But, man, look at that mountain up there. That is just majestic. There's no other word to describe it. Especially with this, this confetti hat right under it. Lands are looking pretty solid. They're going to push in here and should be able to, well, no, shouldn't be able to capture it. So if they do capture second point, it's because their opponents are just being wimps right now. There is no Uber for the grown-ass men. And there you go. That, I think that was a little bit too much on the aggression. They've just lost 2 players without really anything to show for it. So they have not popped their enemy's Uber. Oh, no, they do kill Wireless Fox. Don't even know how that happened, but Heat Pop got in behind. He's now going to go for the demo. And like I said, this is what happens. Demo Man starts laying those stickies at his feet, just trying to stop the scout from getting near him. But of course, he's going to be damaging himself as he does that. And it just takes 1 or 2 good meat shots with hitting all those pellets at close range to kill a Demo Man. So once the Demo gets that close to a scout, it is just scary for him. But he did get saved by his own scout, at least temporarily. Now Lambert coming in, though, and he is not going to miss a shot. Well, he missed one, but you get the idea. He was looking pretty good there. Yan can using the crits. I'm sorry, Yan can use the crits. There we go. He will use the crits. He is using the crits right now. So with a Kritzkrieg, this could be an interesting strategy here, as they are going to have a little bit of a faster Uber deployment than Wireless Fox. So we'll have to see whether their opponents are ready for this. Looks like so far, do they even have their demo in position? Because usually you do want to Kritzkrieg the Demo Man. He has the longest range damage capability, but he's not even reloaded yet, and they are at 80% right now, so Lancer needs to be reloading immediately. His medic might just take a soldier in? No, he is going to start buffing Lancer right now. They need to get in quickly with this, because if they don't, then Wireless Fox is going to get the Uber. But we'll see whether they can actually take him by surprise. If they don't, then, oh, nice kill on the heavy. That is actually a really useful thing. So they're going to go in with this, and even if their opponents actually pop the Uber in time, they do. Even if they do, though, this crits can still do a lot of damage to a lot of the players. No, pretty much all hitting invulnerable players, so nothing. Absolutely nothing. And Lancer detonated that just a little bit too early to kill the soldier. The soldier is down, though. And so now the grown-ass men with no player advantage, but a crits advantage, they are going to push back in with us again. And the thing is, to get in here and really deal damage to this medic, they need to really, really commit, because of where Wireless Fox is standing right now. There is glass here, so you can't shoot grit stickies through it. None of that explosive damage will hit him, and it's just going to be impossible for them to deal any damage to him unless they walk all the way through these narrow, narrow doors and then get around these. So by the time they've done that, they will be spotted, and that's going to give their medic a lot of time to do some decent defense. Oh, sorry, here comes the Kritzkrieg. Oh, are you joking? So they actually did walk in, managed to get the kill on Wireless. There will be no Uber to defend this point. Quad's already down. There's a lot of players on the point, and that is going to be halftime for grown-ass men. Here we go to the second half. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Equals should, let's see here. They have the regular Uber charge, as do their opponents, so nothing going to be too crazy going into this mid-fight. Now, the only question for me is Wireless Fox going to die first thing? Because that has been the go-to plan for the grown-ass men. And it looks as if, no, actually Nyx Knight taking a bunch of early aggression here. Fox deciding just to back away, and it's actually Yan, the first man down on his team. So it seems like whoever plays Team Red just manages to kill their medic, kill their enemy medic first thing at these mid-fights. Although this is a pretty brutal fight so far, it's just that the longer it goes on right now, because there is a medic for Equals, the better it is for Equals. So They get all this damage healed up. Their opponents try to retreat, and they get chased down by the scouts, who then turn around, of course, and start capping that point with their 2x capture rate, which is not ×2, by the way. It's 2 players, which actually does not double your capture speed. It's like times 1.6 or something. It's faster, but it's not 2 times faster, is the point. The more players you stack on the point, you get these diminishing returns where each additional player on the point doesn't increase the capture time by as much as the previous player, and so you can imagine that a ×10 is almost no different than a ×9, but ×2 is still pretty significantly different than ×1, so that is why you want your scouts and maybe pain train demos and whatever else capping them points whenever possible. So it looks like the men are back onto their last point right now. They do not have an Uber yet, and they're getting pressured in by a just finishing Uber from Equals, who are pushing in, but they do lose Wireless Fox. It's just that with the men not having all that many damage-dealing classes left alive, this could be really bad for them. Yankan trying to get on the point just to stop it, and there is a scout on here, but he will not be able to stop that either. Quick round for Equals. It was not bad at all. Let's find a demo man here. I just want to watch the demo rollouts on this map because they are pretty cute. Uh-oh, okay, that's not a cute rollout at all. Nick's Knight may be getting there just a little bit later than his opponents. Not a good thing. And he is going to go on this right-hand side, which is actually a weirder. I don't think that's the fastest you can get there. And in fact, I think the fastest you can get there is about like 942. He's here by 936. He's dealing damage down. He's taking the passive rollout, which is just going to give him some high ground to work with up there. And his opponent's not going to be able to get anywhere near. So far, Equals looking pretty good here. They're starting to try to wrap around, though. I think they've got a scout going around behind this way. Yes, they do. And if red team does not realize this, that could be really bad for them. Nice little meat shots there on that soldier, but it looks like it is not working out for them. Lambert, the only one left alive. He is still in, trying to deal damage. He does get 1 kill, but don't really know if that was going to be worth it. I mean, he probably wouldn't have been able to get away at that point, so I guess it was. It's just whatever you could do at that point, because you're already in. The rest of your team is dead. You can't even retreat because somebody's going to jump you and destroy you when your back is turned. So you just try and get the kill. But, of course, it was practically a meaningless kill because that soldier is going to join back in the fight. It's just that the Uber is actually popped here. We didn't get to see that, but it looked like Pain Shaka did jump in and force the Uber out of Wireless Fox, who is now down to 4 health, taking a lot of damage. Find this guy. I'm sorry. Camera work is just horrendous today, but gotta find him. And so he is going to be hanging out back here for a little while. I think they might have realized that their opponents have a sniper, because this is kind of where medics like to sit with their team when their opponents do have a sniper, or sometimes an Uber advantage too. It just gives you this nice, choke point to work with, high ground, and of course, their sniper cannot see you. There is just no way for a sniper from there, and no way even for a sniper to edge all the way up to here. If you hide in that little area back there, if you're standing right on top of the health kit here, of course, you are going to be in trouble. But there's a lot of room over here to just hide from snipers. So that is, I think, what the intention is. They were just waiting until they had the Uber. Now, they could start marching in towards the point. But this is a tough one to push in. Definitely a tough map to win this last point. Because there's so many different spots as the sticky traps can be. There are so many narrow choke points here. Narrow hallways that you have to walk through, really. It's not just a single choke point. It is a choke hall. And that's not an easy phrase to say. But Equals will probably push this in pretty soon, because you can't just sit here when your scores are tied 3-3 and expect to win when your opponents get bored and leave. Not gonna happen. There is a time limit, so they will probably have to push at some point here. Oh, that's not good though. Pushed in and immediately lost their soldier. And interestingly, I do want to say that when I was casting with Valen one time, he mentioned, the secret to pushing against a sniper. He was just like, okay, well, if you're going to push against a sniper, here's the secret to do it. Don't be afraid. Just do not play haltingly, or do not play with any hesitation. You just march in and jump in, and if he gets the shots, he gets the shots. But if he doesn't get the shots, then you're immediately on top of them, and they are down one. Basically, they're down one class, because the sniper isn't going to be able to do anything once you're right on top of them. So, yeah, if you're playing against, Carnage Johnson, I guess maybe you just need to quit the game. But the whole point is, definitely go for aggression when they have a sniper. And there you go, they actually go for a back cap. So, a nice little patient play there by Equals means that they're actually up. Is that for the first time this game? You tell me, I don't remember. But it is now 4-3 for Equals, so I am thinking they could win this. and bring themselves up to a record of 6-1. I hope you guys didn't actually go to the ESEA website like just now when I was talking about it earlier, because then you might actually already know these teams' results. That would be bad. Don't do that. But do go check them out just to see what the teams are like, what the records are, what the rosters are. Find your favorite players and follow them. It's a nice site to use. And it looks like some good damage coming down on equals right now, actually. Wow, that was not a great mid-fight for them. Now, Nick's Knight's getting some good kills here. But you see what's happening with every sticky he lays. It is just getting re-healed now by Yan. And there you go. Nice kill by Pain Shaka jumping in after Nick's Knight. So this is how you have to play when you win a mid-fight. And I'm sorry, I keep thinking that I want to talk about those leagues again because I was hoping to talk about that earlier. But this is how you have to play after you win a mid-fight like that. Immediately get your scout and your soldier, whoever is available really and already up there forward, just get them capturing the second point, because now look at this, 100% Uber advantage for Yan Can Cook and only 40% for Wireless Fox, and they're already in position to basically push into last. They bring out a sniper, which is an interesting choice because they didn't really have to do that. So they have an Uber advantage, and the fact that he is on the medic right now, he does get the kill on Wireless Fox. That's a useful thing. But he's going to have to get another one to really pay for himself here. Looks like he's doing okay. Yeah, engineer down, so the rest of his team will get this capture. Going for the airborne headshot there on the demo man. Not going to happen, but it doesn't matter. Grown-ass men tied up. It's 4-4, so whoever wins at the next point wins this match. We just find a demo man again. Come on. Wait a minute. Did I find one? I don't know. We'll watch the next night roll out. Anyway, so ESEA is the 66 league in North America, and it's pretty awesome. Especially because they dump all their demos on their website immediately after games are played, so I get to like peruse them whenever I want to. But there are other leagues. UGC is the premier Highlander league in North America. They also have a 6v6 division that is not paid, so anybody can join. It's at a lower level than ESEA, but it is still fun times, and there's still some good teams on there too. I did actually cast on my channel the UGC 6 vs 6 finals recently, and look at that. Another wipeout, but this time around, yeah, it is for the men again. So I think they just might have this game in the bag. Already high-fiving each other. So I think they've probably got this. They're almost about to have an Uber advantage. Blat is coming up on the engineer again. But there is actually, ooh, this is interesting. Oh, never mind. Okay, I thought Lance was going pyro, but he's not, because that would be stupid. Not that pyro is a bad class, but that when you're trying to push into the last point like this, a pyro isn't going to be helpful. There are last points for which it is. Like there are some places where you can air blast your opponents off the point after you sneak a pyro on there, and they just can't stop you from capping it. But this is not one of those situations. You really need higher damage. Here comes Uber right now. Fox is running away. He gets taken down actually. So Blatt on the sniper finishes him off. Samson coming in doing some good damage. Whoa, actually, what happened? Samson, Za got a bunch of kills there, so apparently Za happened. And Equals defended that. I almost want to go back and analyze that after this, but it is already 9 o'clock and I have to get up early for work tomorrow, so I don't know if I can. But, of course, the demo is available on the ESEA site, so you can go check it out yourself. But yeah, that was... How did they even defend that? They got a bunch of kills. Their opponent's Uber was just completely worthless. And I think maybe they just didn't flash the right players. A bunch of them died immediately. So Equals now taking the second point. They actually could win this, as they do not have an Uber advantage, but I mean it's roughly even. So it all depends on who pushes in, who manages to push out. Looks like Lanzer's going to take the right-hand side, which is a weird choice. Normally you do want to push in that left-hand side to get the high ground advantage. And the high ground advantage, of course, being that when enemies are firing rockets at you, they can't hit the ground underneath your feet. They have to actually directly hit you with them. So a lot tougher to aim those rockets when you have to hit your enemies and not just their feet. Oh, Gritchkrieg coming in for the men. They don't hit that one, and the Uber is popped. Wireless Fox just barely got it in time. It's like Lambert and Yan are both down. Lanzer leaving a couple of bombs here to try and save himself from a soldier who's chasing him down. Can he hit that last pipe? No, but I think he's going to get killed here. And his team losing a lot of players here too, so Renegade, pretty good. Lanzer could still, no, I thought he was going to get away with like some weird flanking kills as a demo man, but he did not. So Nick's Knight gets the kill on him. And now the grown-ass men. Ooh, excuse me guys there. Allergies today. But the men are, well, they have a bit of an advantage here on Uber. So Lanzer, even though he died, he managed to keep his opponents back on their second point for long enough that now Equals are going to have to defend that second point again. And might have to defend their last again, as look at the difference between the Ubers. I think Yan might still be running the crits, considering how fast that is charging. Whoa, what? What? So Nick's Knight and Samson both getting that kill, and that actually means that a bunch of damage came down all at the same time, killing 2 players at once. Payne, Shaka, and Lambert, and now he popped down as well. So that means they do have a crits. They want to, I think it's a crits anyway. Yeah, they do, okay. They want to be aggressive with this, because they don't want to let their opponents get an Uber, but I mean, popping it right now just isn't going to work very well for them, as they don't have 3 of their players. They can't really get where they want to be. That is pretty much all she wrote for that one. Wireless Fox is going to have a huge Uber advantage. Played that pretty well for the Equals team. They do lose 1 soldier pushing forward, but I think Equals will be able to get away with this. And actually are, yeah, Wireless Fox sounds pretty happy about getting that Uber. Got it 100%, so they will start pushing forward on their opponents. They've got, I think, 1 scout maybe capturing, and now are kind of wrapping around behind their opponents. Wireless has not been spotted yet, has he? Yes, he has now. And there you go, they do pop the Uber. Gonna go after the enemy demo medic. I don't know, it seems like some schizophrenia going on right now, as they cannot choose who to kill. So they do back away from that. That means Yan actually is gonna have a bit of a crits advantage right now. That is not a good situation for Equals. We need to get back on the Lanzer cam, probably. Lanzer, there we go. I thought I saw a sniper there for a minute, and we do have a sniper actually at a peep. But I don't know where he is. And Samson maybe just took a bunch of damage, might have even gotten a headshot, but not quite dead. Yes, you can get shot in the head and not die from it. It's true. It's happened in US, or not US, in world history, human history. People have gotten shot in the head. But, of course, these are the kind of shots that don't actually... Anyway, a nice kill on Za, but actually missing Fox, who I think he was going after. And some good sticky detonations there to kill Za, but he didn't kill that soldier, and of course soldier killed the medic. So that's not good for the men right now. And they are going to have to drop back to their second point. They're actually getting pressure in from a soldier, I think. Heap can't even find the guy, but I think Renegade might have driven him away for the moment. Down to 20 health, though. He's going to grab this kit, and his medic still not quite up with them yet. So, I don't know, I think Equals might actually have a chance at winning this here after having been pushed all the way back to their last point, being down at the half. This is a comeback story with a couple players from the grown-ass men dying. I think we're going to see a pretty quick aggression here. There's only 3 men left alive on the grown-ass men, so some of the grown-ass men have grown enough that they are now dead. They have died of old age, they're in their coffins, and oh man, that is an embarrassing series of rocket jumps to have caught on camera. So it looks like Equals will not actually win this, at least not at this point, unless they get a wicked crazy backcap going on, but it is just Samson left alive, and he was a respawner, so not going to get there in time to capture that last point. Yan, surprisingly, is down, so the scout at least got that kill on him, and Samson going to go for this little ambush again, doing some damage to his opponents, but he will have to back away, find his medic, and Fox up to about 20% Uber right now, probably using the regular medigun, so they will have the invulnerability ready to go once he hits 100%. He's got just a bit of an advantage over Yan, who I would expect to be using Uber. You really, like, using the crits on last is not a great decision, because your opponents aren't going to push. Yeah, there you go, okay. So he does have the regular Uber. And they're going to start pushing forward. This is an interesting decision, as they want to get aggressive. They don't really want to lose this game here. But if they're too aggressive before they have the Uber, their opponents are just going to get the Uber and like pop it in their face, and what can you do about that? So I think Yan, what he may want to do is just leave his players overhealed and then run back as they jump in towards Fox, try and force an Uber out of Fox that is more or less useless. But so far they're not able to do that. Stickies are on the hill there, and you gotta hate the fact that the hill is blue. It's blue. I mean, look at it. It's not just gray. It is a blue hill, and so are the sticky bombs. Right now, a bunch of fighting going on over on the left-hand side as the Equals team is actually pushing over here. Not always the best of push locations. So the grown-ass men still looking fairly solid, but they do lose a scout. Once again, this forward defense out of doors, not always the best thing to do on Warmfront. Normally you want to see teams holding like they are right now inside, because it just gives them so much more protection. playing an aggressive defense, very, very difficult to do. When you can see teams doing it, when you can see them pull it off, it is amazing. But right now, I think the grown-ass men are not going to be able to pull it off. They do, however, have an Uber, so they will at least pull off the indoors defense. And, oh, losing a lot of players, though. Renegade and Lambert both down. And, oh, Lancer is in such a bad position right now. He's trying to save his medic and let him get away from this, but, okay, they do actually manage to get away, so that works for them for now. Already a soldier walking in through that doorway, but they got to be careful, as Lancer is starting to lay down the sticky traps on the point. No sticky traps over the door. So it's pretty much all sticks on point, and that, of course, means that Team Equals are going to push in and start to deal some damage. Samson down. They might have to back away from this. If I were them, that is the decision I would make. Just run away. But Lancer is starting to launch the Pilvator. Yeah, and they lose heat pop. It's could influence the decision here. I don't think Equals should still be in, though, and they're not. Lambert actually trying to get in and do some flanking, but realizes that isn't going to work out very well for him. This guy has some solid decision making, at least from what I have seen of him in this game. He's been looking good. And Yan is at 100%, so pretty soon Fox will be at 100% as well. You can hear the scout building that Uber with the Boston Basher. Of course, the Uber will build the fastest rate. The fastest it can build is when you are healing somebody who is not receiving any other heals, so no dispenser, no payload cart, no nothing, no other medics, and he is below 142% of his maximum health. So if you're healing somebody who's already overhealed, it doesn't work very well. If you're healing somebody who is sitting on a dispenser, it definitely doesn't work very well. You will only heal at that maximum rate if you're healing somebody who is hurt by himself, and that is why the Boston Basher is so good, because you can keep yourself down below 142% health very easily while you're being healed. And it doesn't waste any ammo, like a rocket, a soldier hurting himself. Oh, a spy coming out here, Lambert trying to get the kill. Totally missed that because I was doing this stupid long-winded explanation of building Ubers. And Spy came out and tried to get the kill. Didn't work. So this is the right thing to do. Equals pushing in and saying, okay, well, you are down a player right now. He's not going to be respawning for a while. Now the red team putting sticky bombs on the point, which means that if they start getting a little bit of capture time there, their opponents are going to have a hard time stopping it. But Equalizer coming out and just destroying that heavy. Equals only has one man left. It is Wireless Foxy. He's coming in trying to do some damage with the Uber Saw and the needles. Not going to be quite enough. And the grown-ass man once again pushing out here to the second point. So they managed to hold that one out, which is actually a fairly easy thing to do on Warmfront. Holding that last point, quite good for the defending team. Better so than most maps, including Gully Watch. I would say Warmfront probably the hardest of the 6v6 maps to push into. Well, I say 6v6, the 5CP maps to push into that last point. Grown-ass men, though, they're trying to capture mid while Heap goes in for the medic, but the Demo Man predicted that one quite excellently. And they will capture this point, but they need to back up right away. They've lost their medic already, so Nick's Knight down. Well, maybe they don't need to back up. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they lost 2 players here. Za taking down the Demo Man, and it looks like Wireless Fox actually got a needle kill that we missed. My apologies, but somebody may have been chasing him down. He was just like, nope. So now Equals looking pretty solid. They have captured that midpoint once again. They will have another Uber advantage to go try and maybe push into last, but they're not doing that yet. They don't want to push forward until they have their heavy classes along with them, the soldiers and the Demo Man. Where are those guys right now? They need to be getting here. What is going on? Because there's such a huge Uber advantage that I'm surprised they're not pushing forward yet. Okay, now they will finally start doing that. And Lands are going to lay a sticky trap over here on this left-hand side. You don't usually see players pushing through there, so maybe not a high-value sticky trap? Who knows? We will find out. Oh, actually, they... Whoa, you're kidding me. Oh, he is making me look like a moron. Oh, Lancer. Because they, of course, pushed as soon as I say it. Just as soon as I say it. They're just like, yeah, let's make Salamancer look like a complete moron. Let's just push right through there as soon as he says we're not going to. Heap actually could have gone for the medic there, but the problem is, now the grown-ass men only have 3 players left, and they only really would have had 2 left to defend that last point if he had tried that and failed. So he did wisely back away to the last point. Is it going to matter? They do have an Uber right now, so I think they should be able to hold on to this, but they have popped it, and Black White is down. The rest of Equals could just back away from this, and they will... Ooh, there's their soldier. If they back away from this, which they are doing right now, they could definitely build that Uber up to have a nice advantage over their opponents, push in, and just wreck face. But we'll see if they can actually make it happen. Bwat coming back up on the heavy. I'm sorry. It's one of those few classes in TF2 that does not start with an S, so my apologies. But he's coming back on the heavy, and the heavy push can be a really interesting thing. You Uber him through the doorway so he doesn't take any damage, and then by the time he gets out onto the point, he's got like 450 health. So trying to dislodge a 450 HP heavy from a point while he's spun up and shooting at you, not a fun thing to do. So we'll see whether they actually do that. They have popped the Uber. Seems like they popped a little bit early. Yes, they are trying to bring the heavy, I think, in right now. And Lambert going to probably start going for some reflex, but he didn't manage to hit that one. He's taking a lot of damage. AAEE is down. It looks like there is a lot of capture time going down on the point. Just barely managed to get it. And that is the game, ladies and gentlemen. Grown-ass men actually losing it to equals. So congratulations to equals. They will go up to 6-1. You guys need to check out those records on the ESEA site. Don't check them too often because I do tend to cast games that are like sometimes 2 or 3 days old, like this one. But do check them out. Follow your favorite teams. And if you spot a game on ESEA or whatever that you're just like, this one looks awesome, the scores, the comebacks, the whatever, then tell me. Just send me an email to salamancer.tv@gmail.com and I will try to get them casted. Of course, I always say that, and I've got like 100 emails sitting in my inbox of demos that are like, every single one of them I know is going to be super exciting and make for an awesome game, but I can't get to all of them because I have limited time, and that's just how it's going to have to be. But please do send me them regardless of whether I actually cast them or not. I appreciate when people go to the effort, so I do like to see that. Anyway, this video is getting pretty super long, so thanks for watching, thanks for sticking around, you rock, and this is Salamancer signing out.